everyone.
Hello.
And welcome to Kirsty and Bridie's Comfort Zone.
I am Kirsty.
And I am Bridie. And we are here to explore the world of dreams and figure out what the heck is going on in our heads.
What's happening?
I can tell you one thing that I realised about myself this week.
Go on then.
Is that, actually this is going to, we'll date the podcast, it's fine. But when don't we?
When don't we, honestly?
I went to yoga for the first time. I did a yoga class. And it was my first time pretty much. I did one like 7 years ago, but this was my first time in a while. And everyone else in the room was a proper grown-up. And when the teacher was saying stuff, they were clearly actually able to, quiet the noise in their heads and actually get into the spirit of things. Whereas I was just constant like blah, blah, blah. And I know it comes with time, being able to, shut brain off a little bit. But there was just stuff that she said, like when we were doing the deep breaths at the beginning, I kept on just thinking how much incense I was breathing in, and it was making me feel like I was going to sneeze. So I was trying to not sneeze for the first part of it. And then when she was saying stuff like, she kept describing where you were looking as the gaze. So there was a bit where we wanted to look up and she was just like, and then raise the gaze. And I was just like, yes. Raise the gaze. And then I spent a lot of it because obviously everyone's barefoot. And she was like, settle your eyes on a point just in front of your mat. But she was stood directly in front of my mat. So I was just like, well, now I'm just looking at your feet the whole time. And I was just like thinking about how weird feet are. Every time I had to look down and I would see my feet, my head was just like, feet are weird. Feet are really weird.
This is what I would be like in a yoga scenario. It's just if you don't have like music or something playing, it's just what else are you gonna do? You're just left with your thoughts.
Yeah. And then at the end, she was like, okay, we're all just gonna like find a comfortable position and lie down for like 5 to 7 minutes and just really clear mind, be aware of the floor, all of this stuff. And my heart rate just suddenly went like do, 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 do. And all I could think was, oh my God, like what is going on with my heart? Like it just wouldn't quiet down at all. So yeah, even the relaxing, I'm not even good at lying down.
You're just stressed about yoga.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
But I did it. So,
Good.
April, getting around to those New Year's resolutions.
Hell yeah.
Not too bad.
That's better than nothing. I haven't got around to mine yet, so you'd be better than me.
I just thought it's one of those things that, because Alex was saying, oh, I do some of those stretches anyway. So he didn't get much from it because he already does stretches every day. He was like, yeah, some of those are the ones I'm doing anyway. Whereas I know that I could just do them at home, but I think having a place to go to, and I think also having that like a person who's expecting me to be there because I've paid for their class.
Yes.
If that was what got me to do it. Whereas if it's just down to me relying on me for me, then I'm just like, meh.
Yeah, that's what I would.
I'll just scroll on my phone. So it did help in that regard.
That's good.
But yeah.
Did it calm you down at all?
I don't know. It was just nice to go out the house for a bit.
Yeah.
And it was a nice day. It was quite sunny. But my yoga leggings that I bought for myself were a bit loose and I kept on having to stand up and pull them up. So that was a bit of an added stress. And also, for the first time in my life, I bought myself a sports bra. And oh my gosh, are they just weirder than I was expecting.
Really? In what way?
Just like getting into the thing and getting out of the thing. It was one of those things that once I managed to get it on, I was like, I'm never getting out of this. I'm stuck.
Was it like really tight?
Help. Yeah.
Oh.
And everything is just so like packed in. So yeah, that was just like a whole weird thing. I guess because I'm very like loose person. I don't tend to wear like super tight fitted things. So I guess for me, it was just weird having, something so firm about my person. I'm used to being loose and wobbly. Now I was just like, oh.
Aren't we all?
So that was strange. But yeah, it was a nice experience overall.
Well, there you go. Well, I'm glad you had a good time.
Well, the last one I went to, the 7 years ago one, at the end of it, they did this humming thing and I really liked it. And I was sort of hoping they would do that, but they didn't.
Oh, right. Like a meditation sort of thing.
Yeah, it was just everyone just sat there and closed their eyes and you just had to hum a note and it didn't have to be the same note or for the same length of time. It was just all like staggered and organic. And I really liked that. Yeah. But they didn't.
God, that reminds me of a time in school. My art teacher, she did some sort of like, I don't know, like guided meditation for us all. I don't know. It was just one of those things where it's like, picture yourself on a beach. You can hear the waves crashing, blah, blah, blah. And I remember I was going along with it and it was very nice. But then I just took it in my own direction and I was like, oh no, the waves are encroaching and now they're absorbing, they're dragging me in. Oh, and like, and then I just stressed myself out and I opened my eyes and I'm like, what am I doing? And that feels like a very Bridey thing to do.
Yeah.
It was fun though.
I don't like this week, or maybe for a while, there just seems to be this element of disaster and chaos around me. And I don't know what's going on, but it sort of stopped me feeling like I know how to relax anymore. So I feel like I want to relax. It's like when I went through this thing a few years ago where I just couldn't cry and I was like, I want to cry, but it just, I'd sit there and I'd be like, but nothing would, like, it just wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
And I feel like I've got that, but with relaxing now, I feel like I've lost that. And I know at some point I just have to, break it down, and it's that, you're never going to reach, what's the thing, like nirvana in your first yoga class or whatever it is. But I would like to get to there. But like, for instance, the other day, Alex was like, he had made the tea and he made 2 cups of tea and he was like, do you mind doing the ice cream? Alex doesn't, the job's in the house. He doesn't like scooping ice cream or cutting cakes. So I tend to attend to the dessert portion.
Okay.
And I think he feels like he's going to get it wrong. And I'm just like, if there's cake on a plate, you're doing it right.
You've done it right, yeah.
But I was like, I'll do the ice cream because I got us some ice cream as a little treat. So I tried to get down a champagne flute from the cupboard because I like to stand ice cream cones in champagne flutes whilst I scoop the ice cream in because they're good for holding them steady. Mm-hmm. So things happened in very quick succession that Alex said, can you do the ice cream? He then turned to leave the room. He had been out the room for literally like 2 seconds whilst this happened. And I went to reach down an ice cream, a champagne flute, knocked another glass down. That then fell, smashed the handle off one of the mugs, which made tea fly everywhere.
Oh, God.
And then so he, from Alex's perspective, he asked me to do something. He walked out the room, just heard crashing, turned around, and then there's just me stood there with like broken mug, tea everywhere, holding a champagne flute. And he was just like, what happened?
Oh.
Like, I just left. I was like, yeah. And it just seems to keep on happening that I just seem to be a walking disaster at the moment. So I feel like that energy didn't vibe very well with yoga.
Yeah. No, I feel that. Oh my gosh. Oh my God. What disaster. What flavour of ice cream was it though?
Cookie dough with chocolate chunks.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was a fancy one.
That's very important information. We were all thinking it. So I had to find out.
I should have mentioned it at the start to set the scene.
It was the most important part of the story. I've been making your smoothie bowls. I remembered that I bought like a bag of smoothie fruit. Say that 5 times fast. Smoothie fruit. Yeah, in Aldi they do like smoothie bags. So it had like chopped strawberries and chopped bananas in it. And I was like, oh, I'll keep that. And then I forgot I had it. And I looked last night. I was like, oh, damn. So I had some yogurt. And I was like, I'll make a little smoothie bowl. So far, I haven't broken anything.
That's good.
It's been very tasty. So yeah, it's been very nice.
We are getting to the point where we're going to have to replace all of our crockery because we've, over the years, just smashed so much of it now that we're down to like the slim pickings. And a lot of it is on its way out. Like, when you put a plate down on the side and you can just hear that just one tiny little knock and it's going to explode.
Yeah.
Like whenever I'm putting dinner on a plate, I'm like, is this going to end up on the floor because it's just going to break, or do we have one more go in it? Just every dinner is a gamble at the moment.
Oh no.
But it's the stuff that we got when we first moved to Bristol like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So
well, maybe it's time to get some
lasted a
nice
while.
new ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the ones I got when I moved in, my plates will have chickens on them. But I don't really use those as much anymore, because then I went to like Asda and I saw they had bee crockery, and I was like, oh my God. Now everything has bees.
Oh my gosh.
Hell yeah.
The birds and the bees.
Oh yeah. So
That reminds me of these placemats that we used to have back at my parents' that were, I think we got them from France, or they just had French on them, but they were from John Lewis. But they would have these like one would have a pig on, and it would say like un cochon dans la jardin, and all of them would say dans la jardin, and it was like un poule dans la jardin. And I was always, I don't know, they just brought me a lot of joy, just being like a pig in the garden.
I'd like to see those,
A
because
chicken in the garden.
They ring a bell. I feel like I've seen crockery like that before.
Yeah, they're very cute.
There's like, did your family ever have the plates that, I've forgotten the name of the design, but it's the blue and the white with like the Chinesey design on it.
Not the
What's it called?
willow pattern one.
Yes. Willow pattern.
I think my nan maybe had some of it. I've always liked it. It's very beautiful, but I don't think I've got a bowl that is clearly like inspired by it, but it's not actual proper willow pattern.
Yeah, we always like they remind me of when I was a kid, because we had willow pattern. I mean, I don't know if it was proper willow pattern, but we had willow pattern crockery. I remember the plates. It just feels kind of nostalgic. And when we went to Lyme Regis the first time, because we're going another time soon, I kept finding like little pieces of willow pattern crockery like on the beach.
Oh, yeah.
And I was just like, this is nice.
Yeah, it's very lovely. The things I remember growing up as a kid, that we had these bowls that were like, was it National Trust? It's some sort of institution for nature. And they have like different, we've got them now because my sister got me a set when I moved to Bristol. You know the bowls we've got, and like one has a badger in and one has a hedgehog in and stuff like that. Right. And that was always exciting as a child, because when you had dessert, you wouldn't know which bowl you had, and then you'd get to the bottom and you'd be like, oh my gosh, I've got the weasel bowl. Yay! And my sister always wanted to have the hedgehog, and I liked the badger. I can't remember what my brother liked, maybe the field mouse or something, but yeah, we all had our favourites that were exciting when you got them.
Cute. The other thing, I didn't think we'd be talking about plates today, but the other
this is
crockery
zone, the plate podcast.
Plate zone. The other set of crockery that we had was Eternal Bow. I don't know if you know that one, but if you Google Eternal Bow, it's like, hang on, 3, 4, octagonal. I'm counting the sides. Plates.
Oh.
Do you recognise that? Have you ever seen it?
I don't think I've seen it, but it's
okay. It's very
spicy.
Very retro.
Yeah.
Very retro. But yeah, that we had that, but that was like the fancy plates.
Yeah.
We didn't really use those. We just had them. We had loads of them. I don't know. My mum, she listens every week. She's always like, I listened this week and you said blah, blah, blah. Well, Mum, where did we get these from? Where did they come from? And why did we have so much of it? I don't know.
See, we had, not for like, or maybe we did we have big plates for it? I don't think we did have big plates, but we've got, in my family, my parents' wedding set was Royal Albert Old Country Rose. And it's beautiful. I love Old Country Roses as a pattern. And we would only use it on
that's nice. Yeah.
Boxing Day. It was the one day of the year that my nan would come round for Boxing Day, and we would get the Old Country Roses out and have like tea and use the little saucers and the little side plates. We never had things on the big plates, but yeah, that was our fancy china.
Hell yeah. Well, let us know.
And now
everybody.
we've got a sense of
what's your fancy china?
If we were to come around your house, which plates would you get out?
Yeah,
which
I want to
fancy
know.
china would you use?
I hope it's the Peter Rabbit set. I had one of those as well.
Oh, beautiful.
A little children's Peter Rabbit bowl and a little mug.
I think Alex will want to get proper, like, he's really into your typical farmhouse, like, what's it, earthenware, that sort of stuff. And I'm always like, as long as it can go in a dishwasher, I don't mind. Because that's the only thing when you use your fancy china is you're like, I do have to wash everything up by hand now. But yeah. Oh, I've had such an urge to do like a friend afternoon tea recently, because a lot of the time when I do them just for Alex and I, and it's like, I don't want to have to make, like I have to make too much to just do it for two people. So I've been thinking, it could be nice to do a big friend one sometime.
Oh, that would be really cute.
So yeah, you'll have to come down and we'll be ladies having our afternoon tea.
Hell yeah.
Using all the right cutlery for the right things. But yes.
I am definitely up for that.
Nice.
Love a little afternoon tea.
Have you had a dream?
I had a little one, yeah. I was trying my best to dream this morning, but Tabs, he wakes me up every day. He baps me on the face and he uses claws so that I feed him. So I forget. And I know I had more than just this one very basic dream, but it fell out of my head. Tabs dragged it out of my mind with his little claws.
What we need to do is attach like a recording device to Tabs that you could then just talk to when you wake up first thing. You can tell him your dream.
That's a good idea. Hello, Tabs. Please stop hitting me in the face. Here's the dream I had.
Yeah.
So I've made very basic notes here, but the long and short of it is that I was on a plane with friends, I guess, and we were about to set off to Japan. And then somebody I was with, I don't know who, they wanted to go and get snacks. Not on the plane. They wanted to leave the plane and get snacks. And the pilot was like, well, you better be back quick because otherwise we'll leave without you. And it was like, right, we got to be fast. So me and two other people, I don't know who they were, can't remember for the life of me. We got off the plane. We walked up a hill to like a McDonald's or something. We got McDonald's and then we walked back and we were like, we're going to have to be quick. We've been such a long time. Like they're not going to wait all day on the runway. And towards the end of it, it was like we've been way too long. So we started running. And then when we got back, the plane was gone and we were like, no, shit, he didn't wait. What a bugger. And we looked and it was literally just going around on the runway to take off. So as we arrived, it was just leaving. And we were like, oh, that's a bugger. That's annoying. That pilot, he could have waited 30 more seconds, but he didn't, to let us get off and go and get McDonald's. So the plane leaves and then suddenly we're on the next plane that was on the runway. I guess we just decided to hop on one. But this one had just landed and it was empty except for Ravs, who was sitting a few rows ahead of us. And Ravs was supposed to be on the plane to Japan. So I was like, what are you doing in here? And he was like, I couldn't go. I need to stay home and work. He was like, I had to get on. I had to go. I need to work. And I was just like, you're insane. And that was kind of it. That was just a dream.
Oh.
But I think before we got off the plane to go and get food, it was very full up on the plane, and I just remember everyone around me being kind of gross, like, people, it was just very crowded. And I'm sure something else happened, but I don't remember. It fell out of my mind very quickly.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was pretty much the long and short of it. And I know why I dreamt this. It's because Ravs has flown off to France today, and we were just chatting about it last night, and it was just like, oh, it's a bit of a faff. I need to work, blah blah blah. And I was just like,
yeah.
And I kind of was just like, oh, that's fair. But in my dream, I was just like, but you're not going to Japan. I mean, France and Japan is different. But yeah, that was pretty much it. But I missed my flight. And I was very sad.
Well, I guess RT is in Japan at the moment, isn't he?
Yeah, I think that was the other side of it, right?
Yeah.
Because I can't remember, but on the last episode, I dreamt about Sophie, right? And Sophie is in Japan with RT.
Okay.
I think
so
I had a dream about Sophie. So yeah, it's kind of combined, like, because yesterday Sophie sent me a picture. This is probably another reason why Japan's in my brain. She sent me a picture of a Game Boy Color that she saw in a shop there, and it's a limited edition Cardcaptor Sakura Game Boy Color, and they won 198,000 yen for it, which Sophie said was about 1,000 euros, but I will Google it. 198,000 yen in pounds. Yeah, it's 1,026 pounds. So yeah, about 1,000 euro, about 1,000 pounds.
Bloody hell.
And I was just like, oh, because I've been looking at those on eBay, not to buy, but just longingly for so long, because I love my limited edition consoles. I love them. Like, I've got my orange GameCube, I've got my Pikachu DS, and I was chatting to Iridian about this yesterday. We were talking about old Fire Emblem games, and he was like, oh, there's one that I'd like to play. It's this one, blah, blah, blah. But it's on the 3DS, so you'd have to find one. And I was like, I have 2 3DSs. And he just said, you've got more money than sense. And I was like, shut up. And then I was looking at my DMs of Sophie like, Cardcaptor Sakura Game Boy Color. So yeah.
Yeah.
So all of these things amalgamated into me being on a plane to Japan and then getting off to go and get McDonald's and then missing my flight. Oh boy.
Well, I looked up aeroplane.
We've had airplane before, have we not? It's similar to a train, I think.
Well, this one seems to be different because it's not phallic.
Oh, that's good. That makes a change.
Always a good start. So it says, dreams of aeroplanes can represent sudden or dramatic life changes. An aeroplane taking off represents a leap into the unknown and taking risks. An aeroplane landing indicates the success of a new venture or the outcome of a calculated risk.
Oh.
So there you go.
So
I guess
I
had a successful calculated risk and he calculated he should stay home and work.
Well, it sounds like we're avoiding our problems by getting off the plane. Oh.
So I could take a leap into the unknown and take a risk, or
I could go and get McDonald's.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. That sounds about right, yeah.
I mean, is there any... I mean, if it hadn't been for you knowing what the dream was about, I would assume as like a general thing, the dream would be something like there's a big change or a big thing happening, but you're like, no, I want to just stay in comfort zone.
Just want to stay in my comfort zone.
Because I'm awful for that stuff. I'm very much like, if there is a thing that is a problem that I don't want to face, I will just be like, what if I ignore it? and it just sorts itself out. Would that be okay?
Often it doesn't sort itself out as the issue, but I understand completely.
Yeah. Often it gets worse.
It does, yeah. It tends to. I think I don't really have any big changes happening at the moment. Like, I've got little changes. Like, I'm the old classic. I'm between games on stream, and it's like, oh no, what do I do now? But I know what I'm doing next, so that doesn't really count. Well, I've started Croc, but that will take me a couple of streams. But after that, I'm going to play Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines.
Oh, okay.
Which I've never played before, and I've never seen anything about it, so I'm excited to try it. But yeah, other than that, everything's the same.
Yeah.
More or less.
Steady.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not taking any risks. I'm just coasting along, just playing my video games.
Other than your plan to move to Bristol, of course. That's quite a big change.
That's always in the back pocket, you know. When, you know, someone rich leaves me copious amounts of money in their will, then I will move to Bristol, and that will be a big change that I'm sure I'll dream about. But until then,
any dying millionaires in chat?
Any oil barons in chat? I would love to live in Bristol, but it is a very long way off, I think. It's only getting more expensive as well, which is a problem. So many of my friends are like, do you know anyone that would want to be roommates? I'm like, no. other than me, but I'm no.
Yeah. It is just ridiculous. It's like the fact that if we didn't live here, we couldn't afford our house. Like if we were looking for a house now, we couldn't afford to live where we literally live. It's so stupid.
It's crazy.
But yeah, we've got to go renegotiate our mortgage.
Oh,
again.
Wonderful.
Very fun thing. And our mortgage advisor, he's very lovely, but oh my gosh, can he talk? He literally, to the point where one time when we were first buying the house, he because we've had to renegotiate it once since then, but we went in, I went in literally to sign a form that had to be signed, and he talked for so long that he ended up having to give me a lift to work because I was going to be late.
Oh my God.
I was like, I really have to go. He was like, it's fine, I'll drive you. And then he carried on talking. I was just like, I need to leave.
I have to go, please. Oh, that's nice. My mortgage advisor was horrible.
Oh no.
So it's nice you have a nice one. I just remember mine being really mean and sassy. And they didn't really have much time for you. It was just like, okay. I mean, I know you're busy, but please.
Yeah. Yeah, ours really went above and beyond. I couldn't fault him. Other than the
other than the talking.
Very loquacious. I think my dream is very short this week.
Yeah, we both got short dreams.
Yeah. But I had a dream the other night that I recorded, and it was a big boy. It was like 5 minutes, 30 seconds or something. So take the small dreams whilst you can, because it's getting into big dream time.
Oh, yeah.
Soon. Also, I did have a dream that I told you about the other day that I remembered having about my baked potatoes.
Yes.
That I could also tell you about before it leaves my brain. But it was literally just, you've already heard it, but it was literally just that I think I was like a Russian cosmonaut on a spaceship type thing. Or was it like a planetary settlement or something? Some sort of place. And I had snuck into a room, and the captain of the place had spotted me, and then he was ready to like arrest me as I got out. And I was just like, no. And I opened up my hands, and I was just holding 2 baked potatoes. And then he pulled out a baked potato, and then we were like united over the fact that we love baked potato. And we were going to share them with all of the crew. But I was like, there's a lot of crew and not many baked potato.
I want a whole potato to myself.
I do want my whole potato. But I think that's just because I've been watching For All Mankind, which is about like astronauts and cosmonauts and getting along and not getting along and stuff. So I think it was literally just, I don't know where the potatoes came into it. I think I just like potatoes.
You're just hungry.
Like, probably. I find it so strange. And obviously, I don't want to judge other people's cultures and stuff, but one of the things that I do find peculiar...
What a way to start a sentence.
I don't want to judge cultures.
I don't want to judge other people's cultures, but...
But one thing I find peculiar was finding out that in Sweden, it's common to not eat the jacket of a jacket potato. I was just like,
really?
That's where the vitamins are, and it's nice and crispy.
Yeah.
And I like it, but apparently it's seen as more of just you just scoop out the middle.
Should we ask Rithian? Shall I ask him?
I think I've already asked him once, but we could ask him again because I've forgotten what he said. I think he just said that he rarely has
comfort zone here.
Potato.
He's offline, so we'll see, but he did reply to messages earlier. Comfort zone here. Do you eat the skin on jacket potatoes? If no, then why? No.
I've gone back through our conversation, and in March 2024, Rithian said, Bridie, I can't remember which side you're on. Baked potato or jacket potato? Like,
jacket.
Why are we talking about this? You said I'm team jacket, but I'm not aggressively team jacket.
Honestly, yeah. I remember us having this conversation before. I'm also team jacket, but not aggressively. If someone says baked potato, I know what they mean. but it's a jacket. He's wearing a jacket. And maybe that's why Sweden doesn't need it, because it's his jacket.
Yeah,
you know?
it's like if you were reading a man, you wouldn't need his clothes.
Exactly. You just eat the flesh and leave the jacket.
Oh, when you put it like that, Sweden, I understand you. Maybe it wasn't. I think it's Sweden. Sweden, jacket, potato, eat? Question mark. I have a question about Google searches.
Okay.
If you search for something and it comes up with a suggestion fill, is it doing that because it's the most asked question, or is it doing that because it has figured out what you normally ask and it's trying to guess what you would ask?
I think maybe a bit of both, question mark. I always thought it was the most popular, but also like if you search your name, so search Bryony K, I'll search Kirsty Yogscast, right? That's my full name. And then
Can't believe you've doxed yourself. Mine's very boring.
Mine, it's not stuff that I would Google, so it's like, I don't know.
Yeah. Mine's like Bryony K Yogscast, Twitch, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, respectively.
Okay.
What if I search is Bryony K legit?
Is Bryony K legit?
I don't, am I? I don't know.
Oh my God. I've got... See, I thought yours might be a little bit more like this, but you're clearly much more sensible than me. I've got Kirsty Yogscast partner, Kirsty Yogscast Instagram, Kirsty Yogscast and Bryony, Kirsty Yogscast hot, Kirsty Yogscast height.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, I searched Bryony Yogscast and I got Bryony Yogscast hot.
Yeah, there we go.
Yogscast Bryony worm.
What? Oh my God. So, I don't know. Inconclusive, because that is both something that you would probably Google and also something that other people would probably Google. So,
yeah.
But I don't think I've ever Googled Kirsty Yogscast hot. Bryony Yogscast hot.
The reason I ask is because I went to search something the other day. Okay, so this is fine. I went to search for can boys be in a coven, because I was curious as to the etymology of the word coven. If it was like, because I know that boys can be witches, but I was like, can boys be in a coven? And I searched for can boys, and the top result was get pregnant. And I was like,
get pregnant?
Does it think that that's what I want to search? Or is that the most searched for term when you search for can boys?
Can boys. Oh my God. I've got can boys get pregnant, can boys join the brownies. Aww. Can boys get UTIs?
Can boys get nits? No. They like
They're
woman
immune.
hair.
Oh my God. You've reminded me of another dream. Oh, it was a gross one that involved nits.
Oh my gosh, like the first ever comfort zone we did.
Yeah. It's all come flooding back to me.
Go on then.
All right,
Get your nits out.
This was really gross.
Sorry.
Get your nits out. All right. Okay. So, my little nephew, he was round my parents' old house and he was having a bath. And in my brain, I was like, children often have nits. I wonder if he has nits. And then I looked like at the bath water and it didn't have nits in it. It had ticks in it. It had ticks in it. It was it was a horrible dream. It was just so gross. And then I think one of them, my sister saw one on my leg and she slapped it off and I was like, thank you. And they were just getting everywhere. And then one of them in the bath was really big and I don't know if it was like trying to get out or what, but like we sort of like onto the floor. And then it went over to, I think, a leech that was on the floor. And then it started like drinking from the leech and it just turned into this massive tick that was like the size of a baseball. And then it was just sort of crawling around everywhere. And all of us were like, ah! And that was the dream. That was it. And it was so grim. But also, the first episode with the gross dream with like the balsamic vinegar that came out of my brain, you remember that?
Yeah.
That was in the same place. It was in that bathroom.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so that's just where all the weird gross shit happens in my brain, in the bathroom there. But yeah, that was it. It was just a big rogue tick that had found a leech to feed on, and it was just rolling around like, wee! And everyone was just screaming. It was just enjoying itself. It was having a nice time being a tick, and we did not like that. We didn't appreciate that.
Oh, weirdly, I can't find any like specifics for insects. It has things like wasp and beetle, but it doesn't have. Wait, are leeches in?
No, I don't know actually. What do they? What does a leech count as? Is a leech an insect? I don't think it is.
A leech is just sluggy, like
isn't it? It's not an insect.
I was going to say it's just like a goth slug.
It's a class of segmented worm, closely related to aquatic earthworms. So I guess worms aren't insects? Question mark.
I don't know. I just assume anything that's small and not a bird or an animal or a fish is an insect. That's my classification. Other than spiders. Well, it says insects in dreams can reflect the feelings that something is irritating or bugging us. Oh. It may also indicate our feelings of insignificance and powerlessness.
Oh.
It will depend on the particular insect in the dream as to the interpretation. Thus, a wasp might indicate danger, whereas a beetle could mean dirt or protection. Psychologically, insects can represent feelings we would rather do without. This could be something bothering our consciences, our conscience, or guilt. Consciences.
Yeah.
Insects tend to signify negative feelings.
Right. Okay.
So there you go. Was the leech me? Do I drain your time and energy?
It was just a leech on the floor.
It's just a leech, isn't it?
It was just a leech, just hanging out.
Further to my Google search, it says, yes, in Sweden, it's common to eat the skin of a baked potato.
Oh, well, there you go.
And it goes on to say, jacket potatoes are a popular dish in Sweden, and the skin is a cherished part of the meal. So I might have said very false information because apparently Swedes
isn't checking Discord, so we're going to just have to take your word for it. Riddian, who speaks for all of Sweden.
Yes, the Swedish representative. Hang on, I can ask another Swede.
Another Swede. Wait, I have...
Do you eat the skin of a jacket potato?
I'll ask the Swedish people in my chat if they're... Hang on. Any Swedes in chat?
I can't remember why it was particularly... Maybe this was a dream I had.
Jacket potato.
Sometimes I just wake up with facts in my head and I just take them as gospel. But maybe it's
Very
not.
Important research.
Very important. Please reply. Mark as urgent.
Please reply. They might not get back to me in time, but... I'll report back next episode if they don't.
This is the sort of thing the people need updates on. Maybe it was America. Maybe I should ask.
This is just all falling apart.
Everything's gone wrong. Where's Sarah? Oh, she's not online. Do I know any other Americans? Is Boba online? I would ask Doutos, but I feel like he's not the litmus test for anything.
Bless him.
I guess that would just have to be the question for this episode is, do you eat the skin of a jacket potato?
Yeah, let us know, everybody.
I love the crispy, crunchy skin.
Yeah,
getting it good and crisp.
You gotta crisp it up before you eat a jacket potato. It's important. Otherwise, I mean, if you don't shove it in the oven after you've cooked you probably cook it in the oven. I microwave my jacket potatoes because it's quick. But if you don't get the crispy skin on the jacket, I can understand why you wouldn't eat it.
Yeah.
Because then it's not very appetizing. But once you get it crispy, it's delicious.
I microwave and then I air fryer.
Yes. Yeah, that's what I do as well. Air fryer quicker than an oven.
Good crisp.
That's the good crisp.
Yeah.
Very good.
I just realised didn't actually listen to my dream because I told you a different one. Would you like to hear the dream I actually brought today?
Yeah, go on then.
It's only a short one. It's less than a minute, would you believe?
How efficient.
Yes. I just talk really quickly. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, go.
I had a dream that Patrick Stewart was really fond of me, but he was only like 2 foot tall, and I was having drinks with an old friend of mine, and he jumped down off the bar stool. It was just there like, you better be being nice to her. And I was like, thank you, Patrick, I've got this. I don't really remember anything other than we then went for a walk, and there was this like little cabin that had pictures of NSYNC in it, I think. Or maybe it was Now albums, but yeah, mostly all I remember is Tiny Patrick Stewart. Bye-bye.
That was very quick.
There you go. Whoa. What do you think of that?
That was that was so fast. Hang on, Patrick Stewart was really fond of me. I the very first couple of seconds, I had my volume turned down, and I was like, "This is very quiet." But it turns out it's a 51-second recording, so 5 seconds of it. That's like 10% that I missed, so I had to listen to it again.
Yeah,
Patrick Stewart.
Tiny Patrick Stewart just had my back. That was the entire dream. Is that he just was looking out for me.
Oh, that's nice of him.
I remember waking up from this dream and just finding it hilarious and just being like, thank you, brain, for that.
Oh,
I don't know why.
When did you have this? 2nd of March. I was the edit last night or this morning. No, like yesterday. Question mark.
It's April now.
Oh,
this was a month ago.
Oh, bugger. What happened to that? When did that go? Oh, no.
Who changed the months without telling me?
What year is it? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, so you've been sitting on this one for a month. You do have a backlog. Bloody hell.
This is the one I was excited for you to hear, I remember. And then it turned out that was a chinchilla one, and I was just like, oh, I swear I had a dream about Patrick Stewart, so here it is.
Oh my god.
But he was tiny.
He's just tiny, a little 2 foot tall guy.
But I remember him being tiny in like a bobblehead type way, like his head was the same.
Oh, he's had a
size.
massive head. Oh my god. I like how I'm just picturing you like, thank you, Patrick Stewart, and he's just there all tiny, like, you're welcome.
But you know, the nice thing about this dream is this was like 2 days before my birthday, and I was fully expecting for my brain to have the usual like, oh god, the passing of time, what have I done with my life, like the sort of existential crisis birthday dreams that I normally have, whereas my brain was just like, nah. Patrick Stewart's looking out for you, don't worry.
Yeah. Just have a nice time. Oh my gosh. Well, how do we read into this one?
I mean, maybe it just means I feel safe,
protected by Patrick Stewart.
Because he is a very lovely figure, I feel, Patrick Stewart.
He is.
I feel like he would be protective. He's quite fatherly, I guess.
Yeah, I agree. There's something about him. There's that voice, I think, that's just eases you. It's
I
more calming than any yoga.
When I was in my first year of uni, and I didn't have the internet in my dorm room, and I didn't have any friends, and the only company I had were the films and TV shows that I had ripped onto my laptop before I had left my home. And one of those was Nausicaa, the Ghibli film, but it was dubbed version in which Patrick Stewart voices one of the characters.
Ah, okay.
And I used to, every night, I would fall asleep listening to Patrick Stewart. I would turn my laptop's brightness down to 0 so that it was dark, and I would just fall asleep listening to Patrick Stewart.
Aww.
So maybe I do find him quite comforting.
No, that's lovely.
And I would watch the same 5 episodes of Nevermind the Buzzcocks. And that was it. That was all my company for half a year.
Yeah, I feel that. I would watch David Attenborough documentaries and turn them down quiet and then fall asleep.
Aww, that's a good shout.
Yeah.
He's got a very calming voice as well.
He does.
But yeah, I think that was all there was to it.
That was just amongst all of the stress dreams and the panic and the shattering of the champagne flutes and the stressful yoga.
Yeah.
It's good to just have a Patrick Stewart show up and just remind you that everything's going to be all right.
But why was he so tiny?
I don't know.
What would be the logical reason for my brain to be why wasn't it just Patrick Stewart?
So he can fit in your pocket.
That's true. A pocket Patrick.
Yeah.
I wonder if it was because when I see Patrick Stewart, I see him small because he's on telly. And the idea of him being in real life is quite scary.
How tall is he? Because he strikes me as quite a short,
I reckon he's a short king.
Guy.
I reckon he's
I think he is.
5'7" is going to be my guess.
Okay, how much is this in feet? 1.78 meters in feet. 5'8". There you go.
Oh.
Yeah, he's 5'8".
Do you know, I said 5'7" because I was torn between 5'6" and 5'8". So I hedged my bets.
That's smart. Yeah, he's 5'8". Here you go.
Yeah.
How tall do you think Ian McKellen is?
Oh.
I think he's tall, right?
I think he has to be 6'1".
All right. Hang on.
Or 5'11".
Hang on. I searched 1.8 meters in feet and it gave me 18 million inches in foot. I don't want that.
How tall Ian McKellen?
Okay, he's 5'9". There you go.
He's 5'9"?
Yeah, apparently Ian McKellen is 5'9".
Wait, no. I googled and it says Ian McKellen is 5'11".
What? Okay, I googled and it said he was 1.8 meters.
Well, a wizard is precisely as tall as he means to be.
Yeah, and then if you Google it in feet, it says 5'11". Okay. Right, hang on. Let me Google
Trixie wizard.
Patrick Stewart in feet. It might be different.
Is it 2 foot?
He's 5'10" in foot. This is strange. Huh? Patrick Stewart, please confirm.
Yeah. Long time listener.
And IMDb said he's
Zone.
5'10". So he must be 5'10" then. Google saying he's 5'8". IMDb saying he's 5'10".
Huh.
Who knows?
I guess.
Maybe it's all correct, but now he's older, he's 5'8" because he's compressed.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm trying to think if there's anyone that I know the height of for definite that I could Google him standing next to.
Oh my god.
But I don't know if there is. My goodness. Well, he's quite tall then.
Yeah, he's quite tall.
I've just found a picture of him next to Hugh Jackman, and Hugh Jackman's a good few. How tall is Hugh Jackman in feet? 6'2". Blimey.
Okay.
A tall man.
A tall man. Which is ironic because isn't Wolverine a short king?
Oh, yeah. I guess he's quite angy. How tall
He's quite
Kirsty
angy.
Yogscast in
Height.
feet? I'm curious to know if it will tell me how
Does
tall
it
you
know?
are. Doesn't know.
Oh.
I'll just Google Kirsty Yogscast feet and see what comes up.
Oh no. Oh no. Wiki feet. Don't do it. I'm 5'6". I'm a short king.
You're the same as Alex. I make my life easier
never
by having my
considered-
husband and wife the same height.
I never considered myself short.
You're not short. You're tall for a woman.
Yeah. For a woman. I never considered myself short until I started hanging out with you and Rydian. And now I'm baby.
Oh, yeah. I guess you are the little one of the group, aren't you?
Yeah. It's weird being the short one.
I love being the short one. Around Jingle Jam back in the olden days when it would be Rydian and Bree and Smithy. If Alex K is ever around and if I'm talking to him and Tom at the same time, I'm just I love feeling little.
Short. Yeah.
Because whenever I'm around, the the boofs and the Ozies and the Bobas, as much as I love spending time with them, there is always a little voice in my head thinking about the angle that they look at me at and how similar it must be to the face that I see when Animal Crossing was loading, reflected back in my Switch. And I'm like, is that how they think I look all the time? Because is that just how they see me? Just all scrunched up from below. Whereas other people see me from the MySpace angle, which is much more flattering. Yeah, it's nice being little. Also, sometimes when I look at the big wrestlers, I wish to be held like a baby.
Oh, God, yeah. I feel that.
Not in a weird way. But just
no, I get it.
Because it's been so long since I've been held in that way.
Sometimes you just want to be held.
Yeah.
And so sometimes I mean all the times.
When I look at like Big Bill and who's the Satnam Singh, I think is the tallest AEW guy, and it's just like, yeah, whenever I'm looking at them, I'm just like, I wish they would cradle me.
Yep. We've covered so many subjects today.
Yeah.
We've got plates, crockery, the height of Ian McKellen and Patrick Stewart.
I'm going to Google out curiously. I don't think there will be anything that comes up. But what does it mean to dream of someone being little?
That's good. That's a good question.
A yearning for innocence, a reflection of your own inner child, or a reminder of past relationships and experiences.
Your inner child is tiny Patrick Stewart.
My inner child is Patrick Stewart. Do you know the only time I see Patrick Stewart on a regular basis is because I use the gif of him giggling cheekily a lot. So maybe he does represent my cheeky side. There are two wolves inside me and one of them's Ian McKellen. No, wait, Patrick Stewart.
Oh my God.
Oh, I've lost track of who I'm even talking about. Patrick Stewart.
They're a pair. They're like us.
I did see a thing the other day. This is somewhat related, but completely not.
Right.
About, Betty White.
Yeah.
I saw a thing that was like, did you know she used to be called Betty Gray before she fought the Balrog? It amused me.
Oh my God. I love that.
Just a little known fact about Betty White there.
That's very good. I love it. Oh, incredible.
Well, we did cover a lot today, didn't we?
We did, yeah. So everybody
Some of it
listening,
was dreams.
Please let us know if you eat the jacket on a jacket potato and where you're from. Let us know your childhood fancy crockery. I would love to know. The name of the design, if possible. How tall are you compared to Patrick Stewart? And if you have a picture of yourself standing next to them, we'd love to see it. Thank you.
Yes, if anyone has confirmed height and a photo of them next to Patrick Stewart, that would be very good information. Or
Absolutely.
if you are Patrick Stewart and would like to come and have a photo with us, that would be nice too.
That would also be good. Excellent. I think we've covered all the bases there.
Yeah. Jacket potato, Y/N, Swedish, Y/N. That's what we need to know. Thank you.
Perfect.
Well, Kirsty, thank you very much for a lovely chat.
Oh, thank you very much, Bridie, for a lovely chat.
Thank you, everyone, for listening. And until next time, bye-bye for now. Bye-bye.